Let's turn our attention now to the ladies and the Bradley Braves in Peoria. 14-19 a season ago. 7-13 in the Missouri Valley Conference. That was a 9th place finish. Beat beat Valparaiso. Boy, it would have been something to beat Vanderbilt in the opening round of the Missouri Valley tournament in Evansville. Beat Valparaiso in the opening round, lost to eventual champion Murray State in the quarterfinals. This has been a program that was really taken down to the studs by head coach Kate Popovec-Goss as she enters season number 4, and they have built it back up. 4 wins in her first year, 6 wins in year 2, 14 last year. And when you look at the conference wins to go from 1 to 2 to 7, you see the growth and you see the building that is happening there in Peoria. Much like what we have seen at Illinois State on the men's side, what we have seen at Northern Iowa on the men's side, they've got a bundle of folks back, 10, in fact, returners. And that starts with Kaylin Nelson. She was the number 2 scorer on the team a year ago. A 5'11" wing, averaged 8 points per game. And then you have another senior in Tamaya Perryman, who averaged just a tick over 8 points per game. So 10 returners, 2 kids out of the portal, 2 freshmen, high school signees. They have a bundle back. Now, who you lose, and it's a big loss. There's no question about that. Soleil Barnes, who had come in from Toledo, leading scorer, averaged 15 points per game last year. You graduate 3, you lose 2 to the portal. Those 2 kids, Miriam Koulibaly, Cheyenne Neal, combined average 3.5 points. So not real offensive impact there. But you bring back when you lose Soleil, who's your leading scorer, but you then return 5 of your top 6 scorers from a year ago. Offense is going to ultimately be the key for this team this year. And can they score? I mean, that might be the simplest way to boil it down, because this was a defensive team that was as good as there was in the Valley. They were second in scoring defense, gave up 61 points per game and change, allowed opponents to shoot 40.6% from the field, 3rd best in the Valley. The problem was the offense just did not allow them to score. It was a grind it out. They tried to control the tempo. They would just guard their ass off, and they weren't going to let you score. They just struggled to score as well. Scoring offense, 56.9 points per game, 12th last year in the conference. Field goal percentage, 38.5%. That was 10th best in the league. So the gap between you've got this top flight defense and you've got a bottom floor offense. Look, the offense isn't suddenly going to become number 1, but if that defensive level can stay there and the offense can just get to the middle of the pack, I think you've got an opportunity to really see them make a leap this season. The number for them that is so key is 70. They scored 70 points. 70. This sort of explains this paints the picture probably as well as anything of their offensive limitations that I thought were shielded, for lack of a better way, by we're going to just grind out the game, and we're going to try to limit possessions, and we're going to slow things down. We're not going to get into a running game with you. That they were going to try and beat you in the 60s. They scored 70 points 5 times last year. In those games, they were 5-0. They only scored 70 one time in conference play, and that was February 23rd at home when they beat Illinois State. One of the very few games last year. We talked all last year about the bottom of the league versus the top of the league, top 6 versus bottom 6. And you had UIC that beat Missouri State and beat Murray State at home, and then you had Bradley that beat Illinois State at home. Those were the 3. If my memory is correct, those were the 3 wins that the bottom 6 had against the top 6 all season long. And so that was where you saw a sort of the tiers of it, where okay, you've got that top 6, and then you had you had UIC and Bradley in that next tier before then there was a drop off to the rest of the teams. 5-0 when they scored 70. If they can consistently, even half the time, get to 70, this is a team that can really, and I think this year with so much star power out of the league, there is still a lot of really good players in this league for sure. But with so many stars at the top that have departed, and they have so much back and such an infrastructure coming back that I think that they have a chance to really make a leap from a tied for eighth or finished ninth last year and be able to ascend into that top 5-6 and make a run at a first round bye. Everybody's trying to get in the top 5. That's the first round bye where you're not playing on Thursday. They've really got an opportunity. The defense is there, and with everybody back, you feel like that's not going to change. Can the offense improve? That is 100% the question there. We say key additions. There's not really any. There are very few. I mean, you get 2 freshmen that come in Maya Foss, a 5'9" freshman, and then Callie Fortson, a 6-foot forward out of Cincinnati. They got 2 kids out of the portal, and one of the names is certainly familiar in Maya Wardle, who is, of course, the daughter of men's head coach Brian Wardle. And, she played at Eastern Kentucky, averaged about 2 points per game. So, they seem to be very high on Maya and what she's going to be able to bring to the table. But look, that is a rotation that there's a lot of pieces there already. So they've got, it's going to be work to get to break into that rotation for Coach Popovec-Goss. And then Micah Cooper comes in as well. She came from Southern Miss, averaged 2.5 points down there. So it's just nice when the returning list is triple as long as the addition list. And that is certainly what Coach Pop has rolling up there in Peoria. Speaking of Coach Pop, this will be something to monitor as the season progresses. As we talked with her a couple of months ago, she is expecting her first child in December with her husband, Ollie. And that is something that, it's I don't know if in her heart of hearts, if she could have timed it, she might have, hey, can we get this done in June or some other time? But look, the basketball calendar doesn't stop. There's really that's a pretty difficult needle to thread. But we have seen some badass women who have given birth during the season, and literally days later, they are back with their team and back on the sidelines. So everything, by all accounts, appears to be going well, and we certainly wish Coach Pop and her husband all the best. That this is the most uneventful pregnancy as you can have here for the final, 10 weeks or so until the baby is due. But it's going to be, depending on the timing, there's going to be a couple days. At the very least, it's going to be a couple days. Coach is going to be gone, and so that'll be just something to navigate, and probably right around the beginning of conference play. By the way, still don't have a conference schedule. I was told that votes were put in for preseason, the preseason poll, which media day for the women is next Thursday, the 16th. So maybe by then we'll have a schedule. We should also have a preseason poll by then. And the media day for the men is 2 weeks. So we're getting close. We're getting close. But just something to monitor with Coach Pop. And hope it is the most easy, laid back, baby sleeps through the night from day one, and she can get right back to work as soon as she's feeling ready to roll. But that is, I don't even need to get into a basketball. It's just happy for her, happy for her husband, and happy for the whole family. And can't wait for them to add a new addition to the family. Schedule wise for the Braves, it is when you look at the schedule, 5 home games in the non-conference. They will go to Fort Myers, Florida, for the Fort Myers tip-off in the MTE. They'll play Missouri and Abilene Christian, and then 4 road games. And again, just from I feel like it's a dismissive word when you call it a manageable schedule, but it's a schedule that they can go make some hay. I mean, again, you've got a non-D1 at home. You've got DePaul, Bellarmine, Chicago State, South Dakota. According, from the net numbers a year ago, That's one Q3 in DePaul. The others are all Q4s. Missouri's a Q2 on a neutral site. Abilene's a Q3. You're going on the road to IU Indy. That's a Q4. Western Illinois, a Q3. Northern Kentucky, a Q4. The big one will be when they go to Nebraska. They were a quad one team a season ago. But, man, aside from Nebraska and Missouri, there's really no reason. There's no reason. Everybody stay healthy. Coach is there, for as much as possible. There's no reason they are not competing. That's probably the best way to put it. That this is very much set up where they can have a winning record going into conference play. And hopefully they will be able to do that and continue this ascent as they won 6 games in the non-conference a season ago. So that certainly feels, that's 6-5. That feels very much in range for them this year. But we will find out. They will play SLU at home for their exhibition, their one public exhibition game, and then it's off and running. And with their non-D1 opener, and then away we go. So very much looking forward to see the trajectory is zooming northward, and we'll see if they can build on that here year 4 in Peoria.